Hello and welcome to Codpast Podcasts, the podcast for all your podcast pastime needs. So, welcome to the new segment, Going to the Pictures. It's not actually a new segment because we did it last week.
We did it last week.
I have an idea.
Okay.
I can fix that in post.
Yeah. Yes. It's funny. Go. Okay. I'm all ears.
We had the Defoe film last week.
Yep.
I'm going on a different turn this time.
I'm going to tell you there's been a bit of interest in that.
Oh, really?
I've had some
People
interest.
pick you up.
People.
Spielberg? Kubrick?
No, not yet. A guy named Tom Carpenter.
Huh. Oh, yes, I heard of him.
Yeah, with 2 P's.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
1 P's a bit of a hack, but 2
Yeah,
P's.
no, this is the real stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
you go.
So this is a movie I think is called Hitman.
Hitman.
Now, it's not related to the game franchise in
I was
any
about
way.
to say, it may just be a movie already.
So it's about a dude,
Yeah.
mid-30s,
Mm.
office cubicle job, 9 to 5,
Mm.
boring as hell, no offense.
Mm.
Like, he is...
You just
Stuck in a rock.
no offense, people living in hell. Sorry, it might be rad down there. Go.
Never cold.
True.
Stuck in a rut. Girlfriend's left him. Done, So he gets home, he gets really drunk, absolutely wasted, and he has this great idea. He's going to end it all, but he's going to hire a hitman to do it for him. So he won't know when, but it's
very
going to
good.
happen.
Yeah.
And then he just passes out.
Yep.
Wakes up in the morning, and he gets the thing, like your order's been processed.
Yep.
I don't know.
Is it
assume
like
that's
an
how it
oven?
works in the dark web,
The little dial goes on.
He's like, oh, shit. And he tries to cancel it, but the woman's like, nah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then the whole story becomes him, partly realizing his love for life through the fact that he's gonna die, and trying to, this ordinary, normal person trying to escape a highly trained assassin.
I like this idea, and now naturally I want to go into casting.
Yes.
Who are we looking at for these roles? Because that's going to be a big decision that needs to be made.
The assassin?
The assassin?
Ted Danson.
Ted Danson. Good. Strong call.
Yeah.
Strong call.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ted Danson's on the hunt.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's he hunting, Daddy?
Jeff from the pub.
Jeff from the pub.
Yeah.
Literally from the one down
from
the
the
street.
grotto down the road?
I know the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met him the other week and I thought you would be perfect play.
Did you
down
ask
on his
him?
luck. I did. And
Good.
he's pretty keen. I'm going to pay him in coffee and cigarettes. And yeah, he's keen.
Okay, so Jeff from the pub, you may know him if you live in the Hauraki district.
And Ted Danson.
And Ted Danson. Slightly harder to get hold of.
Yeah, I think he'll be interested.
When he hears the podcast, he'll
because
be...
he is one of our most esteemed listeners.
I do know that. He's
Yeah.
he's in the VIP section.
He is.
Has he accepted that yet?
I don't know, but I hope he does because he gets access to the super gold stuff.
Did you hear that, Ted Danson? Teddy boy.
Teddy D.
Okay, it's gold stuff.
Yeah.
Not literal gold.
No, because we're poor.
But we offer gold in the form of audio.
Yes.
Bites, snippets of gold.
Just like your
nuggets of
amazing
gold.
bow ties.
Just like
I mean, that's
the bow
really why I
ties.
want him in the movie. His bow tie and
Yeah.
hair and glasses. I just think
Also,
he'd be a really
he's
good
got the
assassin.
face for it. He could do it.
Right?
He could do it.
Right?
And Jeff, not to mention Jeff from the pub.
He's got the beer gut.
He's got everything going.
The tracksuit pants.
So,
The stain on his shirt and a pie.
he
Mince and
does.
cheese as
The
always.
stain is always the same shape. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
It's
always
weird.
is.
It's like he strategically stains his shirts.
Maybe it's the new fashion. Oh, and I want his boss to be James Spader.
James Spader. Yes, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that working. So, is there a relationship? Does he have a love interest in this?
Well, he
piece?
does at the beginning. I haven't really thought about that.
No, I'm pushing it, aren't I?
Like she just kind of leaves. It's implied that she's recently left in that way. So
okay. So
it's
that
probably
starts
just some
down
kind
the
of
spiral
random.
into negative Nancy land.
Maybe Clara from the hairdressers. I don't know.
Clara, she's got one of those faces.
She's just and
yeah.
I'm really into I want Ted Danson because he's amazing, but I want to really inspire New Zealand.
Yeah,
New
support
Zealand
the
actors,
locals.
then, yeah, it's got to be a local thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if Taika Waititi would let's direct it for us.
I think he would be keen.
I think so.
I think he'll understand what we're going for. It's a gritty, realistic interpretation of
Of life in New Zealand.
life in New Zealand. I mean, I know I can't be the only one who's ordered a Hitman for myself after a heavy night's drinking.
Exactly. I've already got sponsorship from Big Ben Pies and
Yep.
Spates.
Spates.
Yeah, I got Spates.
Spates got in. They
Yeah.
wanted a piece of that pie,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah,
as
they
did,
did. They
Big
wanted
Ben.
they wanted a slice of the mince and cheese,
Then they read the script.
and they love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. So when's that coming out?
On February 30th, 2033.
2033. So
Yeah,
it's
so
in
it's
the
a long-
early.
long
it's
term.
a slow burner.
It's basically a biography of Jeff throughout his life. We're
Right.
actually going to see
Do we actually see it? Do we just film Jeff?
Yeah,
Or we
just going about his life.
So
and Ted, we're training Ted, hopefully, to become an actual assassin.
So what's interesting is that you're predicting that at some point in Jeff's life he's going to order an assassin for himself.
Yes.
You're going to make that happen. You heard it from her voice. Till next week. Also, we need to come back to that Harrison Ford.
Oh, yes.
That's got to happen.
Ford jumping the gun.
Remind me.
Yeah.
Okay, so in reference to our last week's discussion about superheroes, where we pitched some different ideas, we decided that we would start the saga off this week. And it comes at a perfect time, actually, because Tabby arrived at my place not long ago with a baguette.
With a long baguette.
A long baguette.
Fresh.
Fresh. So fresh, in fact. So teeth-crackingly fresh that there was a little sharp point on the breadstick.
It was surprisingly serrated.
And I can confirm, looking at Tabby's hand, there is in fact a cut mark that has been made from the breadstick. So what started as a sort of humorous jest has now become all too real. And the characters have taken on a new sense of gritty realism that we weren't expecting.
We were not.
Anyway, enough of the intro. We're going to kick it off this week with our first episode.
An organization for humans with extraordinarily mundane abilities, led by the Segway-bound Professor Extra. The students hone their exceptionally niche and normally useless abilities to save humankind from a series of bizarre occurrences. An ample weatherboard villa, minor lichen colonies but nothing major, stretches out upon the hill. Cream with terracotta tiles and the crossbarred windows you'd expect in any child's painting of a house. All in all, there was nothing especially remarkable about this building, nestled in the bubbling suburb of Epsom. In fact, it was its very unremarkable nature that made 102 Great South Road the perfect location for Professor Extra's mutant school. Everyone around knew Professor Extra, the kind of jovial, effervescent person adored community-wide, while simultaneously shrouded in mystery. It was no secret that some terrible accident had left Professor Extra fused from femur down to his Segway, which appeared to have grown up his legs in a plated, scaled fashion. Despite this tragic occurrence, Professor Extra used his agile hybrid body to great efficiency, so in sync that many speculated some sort of symbiosis between the two was occurring. Though how this could happen to man and machine, the dog walkers and coffeegoers could not ascertain. While the people of Epsom acted cordially to him, he knew the cruel isolation of prejudice and ostracism, only stairs, no ramps, people yelling at him that he was a freak as he pootled along, minding his own business or sampling groceries. While many would have taken this pain and withered into a cantankerous old coot, Professor Extra opened his house and heart to the unwanted, misunderstood, and peculiar underbelly of Auckland citizens, and set up a school. The weathered enamel sign reads, Professor Extra's School for the Extraordinarily Mundane. Welcome all. Over the years, he had nurtured the souls of countless lost individuals, cultivating their powers and pruning their impulses to better serve the very society that rejected them. These students possess great power, not in the realms of Marvel or DC. No, these people are real. Their powers unique and niche, their influence subtle. So subtle, in fact, that you may consider them utterly uninfluential. But they are there. They are here.
Breadsticks thought about his past life. All he wanted to be was a baker, and he could conjure up any type of baguette from sourdough to rye out of thin air. A miracle any baking-inclined being would be foolish to snub. However, his gift came with an unfortunate catch. Anything he conjured was inedibly stale. He'd concentrated, meditated, but no amount of dedication could render this bread masticated. At just 19, he'd given up all hope, and one fateful drizzly Auckland night, he decided to end it all. Downtrodden and distracted, he misstepped and took a wrong turn, not to the bridge he so desired, but into a dark, ominous alley. A whir, an anguished yell, and the sound of thugs harassing. Without thinking, Breadsticks ran into the fray, to find an older gentleman on a Segway surrounded by hooded thieves. The man looked so terrified as the thieves went to slash his tires. Breadsticks felt a wave of righteous fury. He ran to the man's aid, dual-wielding his stale baguettes, flailing wildly in an untrained fashion. The thieves burst out laughing between gentle bread taps, before one paused nervously, asking, "Are these gluten-free?" Breadsticks smirked and, with baguette at the ready, jammed it right into the thief's mouth, still ajar. "Oomph! I'm a celiac!" he choked and spluttered, hurriedly staggering, commanding the rest to scatter. Breadsticks glanced at the gentleman, unsure where Segway ended and he began. The dapper man sidled up to him and smiled, crow's feet crinkling in gratitude.
I am very lucky to have run into you. Yeah, I was here by accident.
Breadsticks muttered.
Perhaps, or perhaps we have more to learn from each other. That breadstick trick was very intriguing to me indeed. Won't you join me at my esteemed academy? I can't bake or do anything edible. I am of no use to you. On the contrary, I think you'll be fine, just the way you are.
Quite the coincidence, Breadsticks mused, that he happened to meet Professor Extra right at that moment in his life. Perhaps he wasn't so unlucky after all.
Okay, so last week we talked about some Yahoo questions and answers, and we unpacked the grand questions of the world, the burning questions of the people, and we came across some wonderful answers. I feel we offered a lot of advice.
I think very constructive advice.
And in response to that segment, we have been absolutely up to our necks in letters.
Yeah.
And even though it is 2018...
It's an ecological disaster.
Yeah, it's like emails, maybe more emails and stuff.
Please email or Facebook us rather than...
Letters, my box is full. My what do you call them?
Inbox?
That's
mailbox.
My real box, my mailbox is full now.
Yeah.
But we were siphoning through these letters. We haven't got through to them all yet.
But we will, and we will respond to each one individually.
Yes.
We promise.
Because we feel that's very important to our listeners.
Unless you don't have a send address, because then we can't, obviously.
That we can't do. We can just tie it to a pigeon and hope it finds you.
Or if you live by the sea, mention that, and we'll put it in a bottle and...
Yes, because that'll definitely get to you.
It will.
We're really good at doing that.
We pray to the god of ocean currents and...
It's the Ribena god.
The Ribena god.
Anyway, so we found a wonderful letter amongst the other wonderful letters. They're all wonderful.
They're all equally wonderful.
They're all
this
equally
was first among equals.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was who is it?
This one was from Clive Battersby in Timaru.
Clive Battersby, correct. And Clive's question was a real head scratcher.
It really was. It was a puzzler.
And it was if I eat myself, will I be twice as big or disappear?
I mean,
So, being that we are the professionals here, we are offering our professional advice.
Yes.
And our answers. We're going to unpack this question. And we're going to hopefully provide Mr. Battersby with the answer he so desires. There will be an answer.
There will be an answer.
Okay. So, again, this is not an expert field of mine, believe it or not. The consuming of oneself is not something I've really indulged in. However, Tabby, I'm so glad you're here. So let's kick it off with, I guess the first question is...
I want to say I'm not a cannibal.
No,
I don't eat people or... myself. I feel that was left.
No, well, yeah, it might have been ambiguous. Yeah, well, perhaps, but I wanted an element of mystery. I wanted some letters to come in, some concerned letters.
A little bit of a police investigation.
We asked for mental health last week. This week we need more. Okay, so Tabby.
Yes.
The first question that comes to my mind is a little left center, but how does one begin in consuming themselves? How do they start? Is it direct? Do they just take bites out?
Well, I feel that this has got to be an enjoyable experience.
And you're not a cannibal. Yeah, sure.
So, you're going to need a registered anaesthetic technician on board.
Wow.
Because
cool. Yep.
Otherwise it's going to get painful.
Yeah.
And the next important thing is to make sure that you start off eating yourself where you don't actually need it too much. So make sure you've got a viable mode of transport, like a wheelie bin or a Segway. So you can start by cutting off your feet.
Yes.
And working your way out.
Useless limbs.
Useless, you don't need them.
Yep.
I mean, personally, I like handling things.
Yep.
So I really want to get rid of my hands last. I feel like I would actually attempt a bit of surgery, get rid of my arms,
but keep
my hands.
Give you a little T-Rex.
Yeah.
I like that, with a knife and
close
fork.
Piano and...
Cool.
Because I don't want to be fed by other people as well. Like, I feel it would be important.
No, dignity. I mean, with your little T-Rex arms, you still want your dignity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The other thing is to... decide how you're going to eat yourself, because different parts of the body are going to fare differently. If you've got tough muscles that get used a lot, like your calves, you're going to want to slow braise that.
Yeah, you want to stew that.
Yeah, over a couple hours, lots of cumin, lots of pepper.
Couple hours, even more.
We want to bring out the
Put that on in the
flavour.
Morning.
Yeah,
go to work,
and
come
then
back.
It's ready.
It smells beautiful when you get home.
I love a crock pot.
I love a crock pot too, especially when I don't know personally about how my limbs taste.
I mean, you're taking the word of a vegetarian.
Yeah, well.
I don't eat meat, so...
Well, yeah.
Well, I'm not a good vegetarian.
Yeah, well.
Regardless.
Okay.
But then other meats, other parts, maybe the forearm might be good for a bit of sashimi.
Yep. Perfect. Perfect.
Or cheeky curry.
A curry? Yeah. Dice it up.
Yeah.
Fry some onions with it.
Yeah, and then so other bits, you can maybe mince up the less good bits. Make some human nuggets.
Yeah. What?
Like chicken nuggets.
Yeah, but humans.
Yeah, or burgers.
Okay.
I feel like this doesn't...
Yeah, that reminds me of something, sorry.
It's not going to answer the fundamental question.
Okay, let's get back to the actual, the pending question, because I know Mr. Battersby is keen for an answer. So, do you become twice as dense? Come on. Or do you disappear? Do you create a wormhole-like void?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I think that you create two separate timelines at this point, where one in which you absolutely disappear, you create a black hole which slowly sucks the rest of the world into it.
Yeah, so you don't devour only yourself, you devour everything. Yeah.
But you're no longer conscious of this. You are outside of the concept of time and everything. You just
so does your consciousness take another route that watches the two other timelines?
In horror and... so over a period of years, everything on Earth slowly kind of slopes up to where the black hole is. The other one where you become twice as big. Of course, you've eaten all your limbs, and humans don't really
You just become
regenerate.
twice as big, don't you?
You just are.
You're just a blob.
You're just like a body pillow,
A body pillow.
a living.
Tell me more about what a body pillow is.
Well, they're things that I've heard about that certain lonely people will buy, and it's just a big pillow with a person on it.
Yeah, often manga related.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen them. Yeah, yeah.
I believe. I've actually forgotten who.
You believe?
Who is famous who
And
likes
I-
them, but
I believe.
so it's a great anecdote. I
Cool.
want to believe.
Back to Mr. Battersby and his turmoil. I hope we've answered that.
Yeah, I
I
hope
feel we've definitively given you an answer and not at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is a very nice sort of water to tread. We
think
like
so.
being sensitive to people and their, what they feel about alternative dimensional, or timelines.
Not everyone's ready.
Not everyone's ready for what we have to offer.
Yeah.
There are nuggets of gold in our heads
There are.
that are just
Too
ripe
pure.
for the picking.
Yes, they are.
But yeah, it's like the forbidden fruit. We
It
got to
is.
offer slices at a time, much like you would if you were
Eating yourself.
perhaps eating yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is the question of the week. That that is the answer of the week. And
Please keep sending us info
info
and questions
and help.
and lots of help.
Lots and lots. Wow. So that was the new intro for our segment. Getting to the reels. What is it?
Hitting the reels.
Hitting the reels.
I've got the adrenaline rush.
Wow,
Right now.
I'm
a bit
really
jittery.
really pumped up for that.
Yeah.
The way it just came out of nowhere. Were you planning that?
No,
I wasn't
I
planning
wasn't
that.
planning
I don't
that.
know where the record came from, but it was certainly
It was,
scratched.
we just found it
And
in
here
a
we
dark,
are.
dark corner.
So, hitting the reels, a segment of the show that changes the tone. There's a jarring tonal shift
It's a
at
massive
this
frame
point.
shift, which is why we had that massive record scratch.
Yeah, and we wanted people to realise you're coming on an adventure now,
Yeah.
but it is dark. It's gritty. It's
It's real.
taking us to the underbelly of humankind.
It really is.
We're going to be talking about issues that pose us. That come out like racism. We're going to talk about
Climate
sexism.
change.
We're going to talk about climate change. We're going to talk about everything that matters.
everything.
And we're going to kick it off today
With I think the most serious issue of all.
it's would you say a pandemic?
I would.
Yeah.
And it's one that is
An epidemic.
hidden. It's hidden from most of the world. It's insidious.
It's insidious. Yes, and it's conniving.
It is very conniving.
Very conniving. Utterly
It
conniving.
is the sharpest of the connives.
It is. If you were to go into the connive drawer, this would be the one that still had droplets of blood on it.
Yeah.
And you'd be like
And it was-
questioning
It was so sharp that it's actually cut through the knife.
the
drawer.
other knives.
Yeah.
It's attacked the other knives
has.
with its little malicious face.
It's very vicious.
Anyway, without further ado, Tabby, tell us about what we're talking about.
Today, we are talking about the Blues Brothers 2000.
Not to be mistaken for Blues Brothers, the film.
The greatest film ever.
Okay.
Ever. I have seen it over 300 times, and I know that makes me sad, but I love this movie. It's the greatest. But the sequel, well,
Well, I haven't seen it. Okay, I have had a rather in-depth review from
Yes.
Tabitha, which she will now share with us. But I haven't seen it, and I was thinking, Blues Brothers 1, what a film. Fantastic. Brilliant. Great musical numbers, great acting. It's got a great tone to it. How would it be that bad? Well, Tabby, tell us a little bit about your experience.
I mean, the first issue, which was one that you brought up when I was telling you about it, the fact that the movie, the Blues Brothers 2,
Blues Brothers.
2000.
This is take 2 and we're still doing it.
I know. The Blues Brothers 2000 was not released in 2000, but 1998, so it couldn't even get that right.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That is absolutely unforgivable as the first thing.
It is.
Why didn't they call it Blues Brothers 1998?
Or just the Blues Brothers 2.
Or Blues Brothers 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, continue.
Anyway.
Yes, that annoys me too.
Part of the problem, I mean, the Blues Brothers initially was SNL skit, became an actual band, released albums, epic movie, beautiful brainchild of John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. Unfortunately, John Belushi died of a potent mix of cocaine and heroin before this movie, and kind of messed everything up.
Yeah.
So they couldn't just get someone else to play Jake Blues. So instead they replaced him with a child, a random dude, and John Goodman.
That sounds like a soup. Like a really...
it's a primordial
It's
soup.
like... Yeah. It's like minestrone.
Yeah.
Okay, no one goes with the intention of making it, but somehow the ingredients are left in the cupboard and you go, all right, I'll grab that, and that, and this is going to work.
Yeah.
Does it work? It's a 50% success rate.
Yeah.
Did this work?
No, absolutely
It's
not.
the failed 50%.
It really
isn't
is.
it? Yeah.
And I mean, some of the music is great, and you know the singers are great. I mean, I don't know what they did to Dan Aykroyd. He could actually sing, and they just warped his voice to make it really deeper than I think is humanly possible. And then, you know, and somehow the movie in 1998 has less good dubbing than the original. Which
inferior dubbing.
It had a much bigger budget, which I think mainly went on the car chases, and which was a great part of the first one. You know, the first one they destroyed 103 cars. In the second one, 104.
104.
So they actually
One
beat
more
that.
car.
One more car.
Ah. Well, there you go. That's a fact I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this is a niche for the audiences to dig their teeth into.
Yeah.
Tabby's unnatural obsession with Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
And just Blues Brothers trivia.
Because I know everything about it.
So send some questions in if you want them answered. She will provide the answer.
I will, enthusiastically.
That's it for the reels?
That's it.
I'm feeling my reels are tingling right now. Got eye contact with you as I said that.
I feel so uncomfortable.
Anyway, for next week, we
Yeah.
might be tackling something equally catastrophic.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't want to preempt.
Wanton genocide.
I don't want to preempt anything, but nothing's off the table. As
nothing
you
is
can
off the
see,
table.
we're not pulling any punches.
No, all punches will successfully connect.
They will connect.